Hello, darlings, and welcome back to my ice cave. Did you have a white Christmas? 'Cause I sure didn't. The weather down here sucks for the holiday spirit. Now, I'm not going to be coy. You can see the title of this video. This is just an excuse for me to gush about my favorite character in Smash Brothers.
Ice Climber! Win!
I had even considered making a beginner's guide for how to play them in Smash Ultimate, but that's a little dry and technical for this channel. We're much more about breaking down narratives and themes here. So, let's break down the narrative of the Ice Climbers. Which is gonna be a hell of a trick, because they have like 1.5 games. Alright, taking it all the way back, Ice Climber is a very early NES game. So early that it predates Super Mario Bros. You play as Popo, and Nana if you're player 2, climbing a series of mountains to get back your vegetables that were stolen by a pterodactyl. Yeah, that sounds about right for 1985.
Addicted to the cocaine!
That's really it story-wise. From a gameplay perspective, being a vertical platformer gives it a really different feel, even to other vertical scrollers like Downwell or the Mighty Jill-Off. Especially in later levels, it becomes much more about finding a path and timing your jumps than speed and reflexes, giving it a puzzle game vibe. But it's also just not a very good game. The climbers have a really slow airspeed, making jumps that look easy a nail-biting struggle. There's also something weird going on with the ledge hit detection. If you land on them wrong, you just pass right through. Maybe it's supposed to simulate slipping off an icy ledge, but in practice it just gives really bad game feel on your jumps, the main thing you do. And apart from an arcade port that added a few mechanics, that was it for the Ice Climbers. They are far more recognizable for their appearance in Smash Brothers than any of their own games. They were added to Smash Brothers Melee because the developers wanted to add a character that was 2 people, and the co-op ready Ice Climbers fit the bill well enough. They remain one of the most obscure picks for the series, and they were my favorite character in Smash Brothers Melee. Not because I was any good at the game, but because 2 hammers means double the whammy. That is one of the defining features for Ice Climbers in Smash Brothers. They hit really hard. You manage to land both hammers, and they hit way outside their weight class. Of course, that's nothing compared to what happens when they get desynced. Desyncing is when a player intentionally forces the secondary climber to fall behind in such a way that the player can input one attack for the main climber and a completely different attack for the second climber. This was probably something the developers intended, but just like most things in Smash Bros. Melee, the competitive players took it to a whole new level. In Melee and Brawl, the Ice Climber's 0-to-death chain grabs were legendary to the point of banning. When they got brought back for Smash Ultimate, the devs got rid of the secondary climber's ability to grab, which got rid of their insta-kill chain grabs. The point is that being 2 characters isn't just a visual gimmick for the Ice Climbers. It is central to how they play at every level of skill, from how they jump back onto the stage to even their victory animations.
Ice Climber! Win!
This is something fighting games are usually great at, building characters entirely from animation details. They tend to suck at constructing a narrative for those characters. I'm sorry, Mortal Kombat, I know you try. But they establish very firm characters. You can just look at Ryu or Chun-Li and get some idea of who they are. This, of course, comes across strongest in the greatest crossover movie of all time, Subspace Emissary. Now, how do you get the Ice Climbers, 2 children who climb mountains, into an intergalactic war with space aliens? Well, they are climbing a mountain, and Meta Knight flies past them as he chases a spaceship. And the Ice Climbers are not about to be beaten by a metal bat at their namesake, so their competitive instincts kick in and they follow him right up the mountain. And at the top of the mountain, they find Lucario, who is there for some reason. This moment is a great illustration of why character design is so important. Lucario and Meta Knight immediately clock each other as edgy, try-hard anti-hero types. And so they commence the battle for dominance, while the cute and fluffy Ice Climbers stand to the side and are shocked, like, why are we doing this? Can't we be friends? And yes, they can be friends after they establish who is strongest. But, that's kind of all they do in Subspace Emissary, and that's about all the official Ice Climbers media there is. So screw it, I'm going to talk about the Ice Climbers webcomic I found! This webcomic by Tamarin Frog is a dramatization of the Ice Climbers going through the adventure mode of Melee. This was a mode where you not only went through themed battles, but also some platforming stages, kind of a prototype Subspace. The webcomic also starts with an acknowledgement of the somewhat heady Smash Bros. Canon that the fighters are all toys brought to life by the hands of people playing with them. Come on, come to life and love me. It starts with the very confused Ice Climbers being dropped into the Mushroom Kingdom. They move forward and take on a Mario and Peach who are convinced they are new Bowser minions. I'm not going to go through each fight, it's mostly just 10 stages of comedy fight scenes, but I'll give you some highlights. Popo has absolutely horrid luck when it comes to getting swallowed. He gets turned into a Yoshi egg, which is acknowledged as being fucking horrific. He also gets ate and copied by Kirby with a great detail where only he can see that it's Kirby in a cute hat. And Nana sees another Popo. This is definitely a showcase for the climbers, but it is fun to see the characters they fight getting to talk too. Mario and Peach are fun, the Star Fox Squad are delightfully arrogant, and Captain Falcon talks in macho catchphrases as he should. But of course, the stars are the Ice Climbers. They have a lovely, spunky can-do attitude, with Nana being a bit more headstrong and Popo being prone to worrying. Their various ice abilities are expanded slightly for the sake of more interesting battles, which is pretty cool. During the Zebes escape sequence, we get walked through the belay maneuver, which is important because that is a very dangerous move in story and in-game. For a fighter that is heavily dependent on the duo, belay is the only move in their arsenal that explicitly separates them and can potentially sacrifice Nana for Popo's life. And this builds into the penultimate stage when the Ice Climbers return to Icicle Mountain and fight their evil doppelgangers. This Popo and Nana are cruel and fight dirty, but that ends up biting them in the ass as Nega Popo is more than happy to sacrifice Nega Nana for short-term gain. Popo rightly lays into his dark half for this callousness when Nega Popo drops a bomb. At least on some level, Popo is aware of his status as the primary climber. Only he has to complete the challenge. Nana is optional. Which is fine if you're a player, but as two thinking beings in a comic, it's a bit of a mindfuck. Thankfully, the journey is almost done. They fight through the wireframes and Metal Bros and finally face off against the Controlling Hand. Of course, in Adventure Mode, you ended up the run going against Giant Bowser, not Master Hand. But since these two did really well, he gets upgraded to Giga Bowser. And in a great nod to actual cheese strategies, they trick him by jumping off the stage and getting his heavy ass to follow them. They wake up from their shared dream hungry for some vegetables. That was really fun! Okay, no, it didn't subvert my expectations or have dark contemplative themes, but it was clearly drawn by someone who really knows their Melee. It had fun characters, the artwork is really cute, it was just peachy, and it's not like there's a lot of other narrative Ice Climbers content for me to consume. But, even though I am a beggar, if this were a feast, I would still choose this webcomic. On that note, I genuinely think a new Ice Climbers game could really work out. Kind of do like a 2.5D mountain thing that they gotta scale up. That would really spice up the climbing formula that already existed. But until that happens, I'm just gonna have to settle for smashing people's faces in Smash Brothers Online. This is my friend code. Feel free to step up.